Hello everyone, so welcome back to my channel. So in today's lesson, we are going to talk about the collection in Dart. So before we dive into today's lesson, so here I just give you a quickly remind. So this channel is all about full stack web and mobile development. So please subscribe to my channel. So if you're interested in how to become a full stack developer. And this is our fourth lesson. So if you haven't watched my previous lesson about Dart, so I highly encourage you to check my previous lecture. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see from this mind map, so I briefly divide today's into three parts. So first I will give you a brief introduction about the method, and then I'll give you the introduction about what's the function, and finally I will talk about the call in collection in Dart. So let's get started. So what is the function? So the function in computer science, in function just a block of a code perform a specific task. As you can see from the Stack Overflow, a function is just a piece of a code that is called by name, and it can be passed the data to operate on and can optionally return the data. All data is passed to a function is explicitly passed. So a method, on the other hand, is a piece of code that is called by a name that is associated with an object. So you can simply just remember in this way. So you can say like method need to be called by an object. However, if the function is just we can just call the function simply by their name. So you can see from our first lecture, we have write these print function. So we can just use the print the function name, print, and to trigger this function. Okay. Also, next we're talking about the function. So function usually divide into two parts. The first one is the built-in function, and the second one is a user-defined function. So what's the built-in function? The built-in function, just the functions they are predefined by Dart, and they are part of the library. So all we can just to use their by the function name. However, there are also have a like a user-defined function. So user-defined functions are the function the user create themselves. So and you can see here I have another lesson talking about the function in detail. So what's the function, what's the parameter, and what's the return type. And don't worry if you didn't know. So I will give you a more detail into a function in the coming lesson. So here, just quickly remind you, you just need to remember what's the function, what's the method, what's the differences, and because we are going to use the method in our collection, and the collection we have. So in our collection, have the three core built-in collection, the list, set, and map. So unlike other programming language that don't have a large collection of building data structure, but it can also perform a lots of tasks covered by different situations. And here I already write this code ahead, so I don't want to waste your time just watching my typing. So I hope I can talk more in detail about those a collection, how to use them. So let's go from the first one, the list. So what's the list? So a list are probably the most common data structure used in Dart. So here is the first line will be just a syntax about how to define a list. So as you can see, so I define a list just using a square bracket, and inside square bracket I have put 3 elements. All of them are integers. So we're using var keyword because Dart is a smart language. They can do type inference for you. So when you move your mouse into the variable you declare in here, list 1. So as you can see, Dart already knows. So you are trying to declare a list type, and the element inside a list is an integer. So if, for example, if I change the integer 3 to string 3. So we already talked about a string in Dart. So in Dart, if we trying to declare a variable as a string, we just using either a single quotation mark or double quotation mark. You see here, we move our mouse on this variable, we can see the type will be changed to list object. So as we know in Dart, everything would be an object. However, I don't recommend you put like a different type in the list. So I highly recommend just put the same type in the list. So I will talk why I encourage you to in this way. So I will talk more when we talking about the map function in the list. So here I just run my code. You can see we have declared our first list. So another way to declare a list is using this class. But you see here is a line through the list class because this method is decrypted. So how do I know this already deprecated? So the reason is I go to check the Dart library. So don't worry, I will share this link in description below. So as you can see here, so we create this using their default constructor. So this one is what we are using now in here. So it already be deprecated. So I don't recommend using this way. And also you will be produce error in the compile if you have a latest Dart version. So we don't recommend you using this way. So here, and the survey is the same, already decrypted, but you can specify the type. Yeah, this one is also decrypted. So I just commented out this one. So we're using this one. So you can specify the type. So what's the type? The type just you declare. So what kind of element you want to store in this list. So if you declare in this way, so you cannot put like other type, like for example, like string or double. You cannot put string and double into this list. So this list already have a like a type constraint. So as you can see here. So we run the code, you can see it is an empty list. Here you can see here it's an empty list. Okay, we move to next. So the next one is talking about the index in Dart. So the index just like a position. So in the list, for example, they have 3 items in this list of fruit, and they all string. So we're using a var keyword to do the type inference. So it will be like a list of a string. Yeah, as you can see here. And if we're using, so the first element will have index 0, and then the first one will have index 1. Oh, and then second will have index 1, and third will have index 2. So if you're trying to access the first element, you're just using this way. So you're using a square bracket and place the index of the element, so you can access. So you can see here I print out the first element in this list of fruits array. So if I change to 1, so I run my code again, I will get the banana. Then we're going to the list length method. So the list dot length method will be give you the total length of the array. So when you run the code, you will see the total number of element in this array, in this list, will be 3. Okay, move to next. We can also add the element in array. So how do we add the element? So we're just using the add method. So we add element into this array. So now currently our array would have 4 elements: banana, apple, banana, peach, and mango, as you can see here. So because we have the list of a string type, so if we're trying to add like a number 3, it will the compile will produce the error. It won't allow you to do this. Okay, we move to next. We can also add another list to the existing list by just using add all. So remember, you need to pass a whole list. So after we execute this line of code, so we'll get apple, banana, peach, mango, orange, and strawberry. So remember, we need to pass the array or list in here. So suppose we give only like 2 elements, the compiler will produce error. And also we can remove the element in this. So we're just using the remove method. So we're giving the index of the element we want to remove. For this example, we giving the index 0. So we want to remove the apple in this list of fruit list. So after we run the code, so we can see the apple is removed. And another example would be, so you want to remove the element, but you don't know what's index. So you can use the index of this method to find the index of the orange. So in this example, so the orange will be index 3, because index counting from 0. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. So the orange will have index 3. So after executing this line, we'll get index 3. So we remove index 3. So we will eventually remove the orange in our list. So we just execute this code. So you see the orange already removed from our list. And the last one would be like you want to remove all the elements in the list. So you can just using the clear method. So the clear method will remove all the elements inside this list. So after I run the code, you can see that now our list will be empty. So you may wonder how I know all of those methods. So I can. So to tell the truth, I don't remember all of those methods, because when you go to the official this reference, you see there are lots of methods. For example, like a clear, array, expand, a fold, for each, get range, index of, we are using just now. There are all kinds of different methods. You cannot remember all of them. So what I'm trying to teach you, just give you a brief introduction of those methods. So when you actually use this, so you will get more understanding of the. So I highly recommend watch this trying to read this document frequently, so you will get a more understand when to use what kind of method. And the last one will be the map method in Dart. So I give you another example. So suppose you have an array, like a list of movies. So you want add a string before each movie. So you want add like I love it. I love this movie to before each one. So what you can do is you're using this map method. So the map method pre-append this string, so before each item. So let me run this code first. You see here, this one is a line 53. So however, you'll see this is a normal bracket, it's no square bracket. So this is a iteratable object, so it's not a list. So for example, you need to call this toList method, convert this iteratable object to the list. So you need to pass this function, the function. What you want to do for each of item. So you pass this function simply means you want to grab each movies, and you need to prepend kind of a string before each movie. So this one is just a variable, so you can name it anything you want. Suppose I can add like an integer m. So just be persistent. So you need also, this just kind of a variable. So if you name it m, you need also change the variable. So in this but I still recommend you using something like meaningful. So okay, that's all about the list in Dart. So next we are going to talking the set in Dart. So unlike the list, set would be like an order. So this is an order because so you can you'll find element using like an index. So it kind of have some kind of order. However, the set is unordered, and also the set cannot have the same like item. So if you're trying to add like a duplicate like a element in the set, you will be not going to add it. So okay, so first we're going to give you the syntax of how can you declare the set. So you can declare the set simply using the var keyword. Is the same, but you're using this curly bracket. So thanks to our type inference, we know our variable have the set type, and the element inside this set would be integer. So after we run this code, we can see we have a set of integer. So another one is you can specifically declare the type you want. So you can declare here. So you give a 3 integer. Then if you're trying to give a 3, the string 3, the compiler will be produce error. And however, here is something I want you to know. So if you trying using this one. So if you just give it like a curly bracket, it actually will create a map. So don't worry, we'll be talking the map later. So as you see, when you move your mouse in this empty map variable, you see the type inheritance will say this is a kind of map. It's not a list. So if you want to declare a list, so this one is a good practice. And also you can just tell the compile say this one is a set an integer. So you don't do the type inference here because for in this case it is no less smart than human. So after we run this code, we can see the first one would be, this one would be empty list, and this one is also empty set, sorry, and this one is also an empty set. So this one will be empty map because I print out it is runtime type. You can see here. So the runtime type will be linked hash map. Okay, move to the next. So in list, we can also add element into the list. So simply just using the add method. And also we can add multiple elements into the set. So we're using add all method. It's the similar like a list. We can also check the length of the set. So you see here the first set would be 3 elements. So I'm trying to add those 2 elements, so the set will be total have 5 elements. So for example, I'm trying to add this same element into the set 1. So the set will not allow duplicate. So you see, only graphs will be added to the set of rows. So now the set of rows have a length of 4. You can also remove element from the set just using the remove, and you just type the element you want to remove. And also, unlike the list, you can also check the element is already exists in the set. So in here, so we want to check if the set contains the graphs here. So you'll be putting the true. Yeah, as you can see, it's a true. And next, you can also check multiple items. So you can use contains all. So you just pass a list of items you want to check. So this one will be true, watermelon and banana. So you will see true or false. Okay, sorry, I my mistake. So because banana is not inside in this one, only watermelon inside the set of rules too. So you will produce false. And the last one would be you can use contain all to check this one. Yeah, I think it's the same. Those two will be the same. Just a different way of declare. So you can declare a variable and just pass the variable in here. You can also just pass this directly. Also, you can check the intercept. You can combine those two sets, or also you can just find the intersection of the two sets. So here, the first example, I'm trying to find the intersection of the two sets. So as you can see, the intersection of the two sets will be the orange. Here is the orange. It's the common element among those two sets. And also we can like to get unique with two different sets. So here I can unit those two sets, but you remember only the different element will be produced. So the same element will be ignored. Okay, this is all about the set. So the reason I know all the methods because I check the documentation. So they provide all the methods and attributes in the set. So don't worry, I will put this link in the description. So I highly encourage you to check the official documentation frequently. But don't worry, if you still have any problem, you can comment out below. So and I will answer you. I will try my best to answer you. Okay, so the last one we are talking in collection would be the map. And map is just a very specific type in Dart. So unlike list and set, using key and value pairs. So here I just give you a quick example of what is the map. So map using the key and value pairs. So the key would be, so for example, in this one, I declare a map of capitals. So the key would be the country and the value would be the capitals. So when I print this one, I can see I have a list of country with capitals, country with capitals, country with capitals. Yeah. So if you want to declare a map, so you can either use the first one we declare here, this one, this one. Yeah, we just using the empty and we use the var keyword to do the type inference, and also we can use the class constructor. So because this one is they still use this nowadays, so it's not decrypted. So we can still using this one, this constructor to create the empty map. You can also create a map by just explicitly tell the Dart what type you want. So you want the integer to be the key and the string to be the number. So for example, after you declare in this type, so you can only like put your key number to your key and value to your string, the string to your value. So for example, we declare these numbers to map, give the integer as the key, and so you see we're using this one is the key. So we're using like a square bracket to assign the value to this key. So in this example, we have 3 keys, the 1, 2, 3, the integer 1, integer 2, integer 3, and we have 3 values. So the string 1, string 2, string 3. So when we print out, so you can see, so here, but remember this will be the integer. Yeah, this will be the string. And we can also check about the length of the map. So I think here would be 3 because we have 3 pair. As you can see here, we have 3 pair. And if you're trying to access the value, so we can use like is the same as the. So you're just using the key to access its value. So for example, so we're using the key 2, so the output will be the string 2. And also you can check all the keys if the map contains specific key, so you just call contains key this method. So I think it will be returned true because we in our map contains the number 2, and we can also print out all the keys within this map. So we're using number 2 dot keys will print out all the keys. As you can see here, will be 1, 2, 3, integer 1, 2, 3. As you see here is a normal bracket, so it will be like a iteratable object. It is an iteratable object. You can either convert it to like a list using toList method, convert into a list. So now when you print again, so you can see here, I convert this iteratable object to list. Okay, so the last two would be you can also print out all the values in this map. So for example, I will print out the 1, 2, 3, those 3 different strings. As you can see here, it's also iterable object. You can convert to list by using toList method. And also you can remove the key pair in this map. So what you can do is just using the key. So if you remove the key, so the value will be also removed. So in this example, I remove the key too. So and then I print this numbers map again. So I can only see these 1 and string 1, keys number 3, and string number string 3. And also, I highly recommend to check this official documentation. So to try different methods, so have a better understanding of all the different methods. So I think that's all for today's lecture. So feel free to comment out below if you encounter any error or have something question. So I will always try my best to help. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, so I will continue upload the video. So in the next lesson, I will be going to talk about the classes in Dart. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.